How many hours a week do you typically work? 30, 40, 50, 60? I talked to somebody last week and they told me that they regularly put in between 75 and 80 hours a week. That's crazy. I don't want to do that. But how can you create more time in your day? Well, there's 4 things that I want to share with you that we do that work pretty well for us. And number 1 is simply this: automate. And by automate, I mean systematize. Stop going through and figuring out how to do a repeatable process that comes up regularly. I took a class not too long ago it was titled on systems. It was from a real estate sales agent, and their whole system was how to automate the sign-up process for an account. So when they would bring in a new sales account, they had a long checklist, and this was their system. Put a sign in the property, log into the MLS, make these phone calls, do this, and it was a checklist of 20 things. And she said, since I started doing this, I've automated this process. Now, property management is a lot more complex than that, but there's so many things we can automate in our business by putting systems in place. Now, I've talked a lot about systems. I'm not going to go into that here, but you automate through systems. I want to share a quote with you by Peter Drucker. I don't know if you can read this or not, but this is good stuff. He says this: Peter Drucker, the great business guru, "A well-run organization is a quiet place, even a boring place. Nothing exciting seems to happen in it because the crises have been anticipated, prepared for, and responded to through a routine or through a system. On the other hand, an organization with excitement and drama and heroics often means the organization is simply unprepared." That strikes at home, doesn't it? That cuts through everything. If your organization has a lot of day-to-day drama and big deals and everything's a big deal, maybe what that means is you just don't have the systems in place. You want, to some extent, a boring operation, don't you? You want to be able to anticipate the problems that arise. And when the water heater blows up and the tenant calls, not a big deal, because you've got a system in place for that. When the tenant doesn't pay their rent and you think they skipped out, not a big deal. You've got a system in place for that. If you're overreacting, if there's heroics and drama in your office, maybe you just don't have the right systems in place. So, number 1, again, automate. Second thing you can do is delegate. Stop doing everything you're doing. Now, this is hard, especially if you're a smaller organization and you don't have people to delegate to. But if you do, or when you make that first hire, delegate the things to them that you are not good at and that you don't enjoy doing. That first hire should be an admin, I believe, that you can delegate all the stuff to that you hate doing because you don't like doing it. And sometimes we feel, well, that's not fair. If I don't like doing it, they won't like doing it either. Maybe not. Find someone who is good at those tasks that you're not good at. And the concept is actually this: you can actually buy back your time. Think about that. If you're doing everything and you hire someone part-time or a VA to come in for 20 hours a week, you're buying back 20 hours a week in your life that you can do anything you want with. You can put it into your business, you can put it into your personal free time, you can put it into your family time. But delegation, and I'm bad at it because I'm a control person, delegation, though, has changed the way I'm able to operate my business in a great way. So learn to delegate. Number 3 is delete. By delete, stop doing stuff. There are things you're doing that you could stop and it wouldn't negatively impact your business. Look at the things that you could stop doing and see if it works. Stop reading all of the emails that are not necessarily junk, but they're just informational. How many emails do you read on a daily basis? Just throw those things into a junk folder. Have them auto-filter there, go in once a month and look at those types of things. There's so many things that are time wasters that you could just stop doing and start saying no. When people ask you to do things that don't move the needle on your business, I'm giving you permission to say no, because everything you're saying yes to is taking time away from something else. So I've gotten pretty good at saying no to almost everything. I think it was Steve Jobs who said, the difference between a successful person and a very successful person is the very successful person says no to almost everything. Pretty good stuff. Last, procrastinate. When you get into those things that you know you probably should do but aren't necessary for right now to get done, put them on your procrastination list. You'll get to it when you have time. And what you'll find over time is these things that you thought you were going to procrastinate with, you actually can just delete. They don't even need to get done. But it's okay to procrastinate on the little silly stuff so you can focus on the big, important things. Automate, delete, delegate, procrastinate. Those are things you can do to really buy back your time, to improve the amount of time you have on a daily basis. If you want a good resource for this, I recently just finished reading this book. It's called Procrastinate on Purpose by Rory Vaden, Multiply Your Time. Great book. He's a great author. He's got a few other books out there as well. I'd encourage you to pick it up. Great book on teaching you how to do these things. Start doing these things. Get your time back. It will drastically improve the quality of your personal life as well as your business life.